The Stoic secret to never getting angry again. Be honest with me. When was the last time you lost your mind over something completely insignificant? Was it this morning? Did someone cut you off in traffic, and suddenly you transformed from a civilized, tax-paying adult into a feral beast screaming obscenities at a Honda Civic? Or maybe it was a passive-aggressive email from your boss. You know the one. The email that starts with, "Per my last email." Those 4 words are the corporate equivalent of a declaration of war. Your heart rate spikes. Your palms sweat. You spend the next 20 minutes drafting a reply that is essentially a highly professional way of saying, "Go jump off a cliff," before taking a deep breath, hitting delete, and typing "will do." Welcome to modern life. We have supercomputers in our pockets. We can order pad thai to our front doors in 15 minutes. And yet, emotionally, we are hanging on by a thread. We are stressed, we are easily triggered, and we are chronically angry. But what if I told you that getting angry is a choice? I know. You hate me already. It is not a choice. You are yelling at your steering wheel right now. That guy in the Honda Civic is an idiot. I didn't choose for him to cut me off. You are right. You didn't, but you absolutely chose your reaction. Today, we are diving deep into the ultimate problem-solving manual for the human mind. We are going back 2,000 years to steal secrets from the most powerful man on earth, a man who had every reason to lose his temper, but chose not to. We are talking about Stoicism. We are talking about Marcus Aurelius. And we are going to learn the Stoic secret to never getting angry again. Before we bring in our Roman emperor, we need to diagnose the disease. Why are we so angry all the time? Evolutionarily speaking, anger is a survival mechanism. Back when we were dodging saber-toothed tigers, anger and stress were bursts of adrenaline that helped us fight or flee. It was highly useful. If a rival caveman stole your mammoth meat, anger gave you the energy to hit him with a rock. But today, you are not fighting over mammoth meat. You are fighting over the armrest on an airplane. You are fighting with the spinning wheel of death on your laptop. The problem is, your biology doesn't know the difference. When your Wi-Fi drops in the middle of a crucial Zoom call, your brain releases the exact same cortisol and adrenaline as if a predator just stepped out of the bushes. You are literally launching a biological war against a plastic router. And it is exhausting. We live in a world fundamentally designed to provoke us. The 24-hour news cycle, the social media algorithms engineered for outrage, the sheer density of urban living. It is an outrage machine. We are walking around with a baseline stress level of 7 out of 10. So when someone accidentally bumps into you at the grocery store, it pushes you to an 11. You think you are mad about the grocery store. You are not. You are mad because you have 0 emotional padding left. This is where the Stoics come in. Stoicism is not about suppressing your emotions. It is not about acting like a cold, emotionless robot. That is a massive modern misconception. Stoicism is about domesticating your emotions. It is about not letting external idiots dictate your internal peace. Imagine being the CEO of the world. No board of directors, no HR department to keep you in check, no Twitter mob to cancel you. You have absolute, unchecked power. If someone annoys you, you don't send a passive-aggressive email. You send them to the gladiatorial arena. That was Marcus Aurelius. He was the emperor of the Roman Empire from 161 to 180 AD. By all historical accounts, absolute power corrupts absolutely. Look at Nero. Look at Caligula. These guys were absolute nightmares who burned cities and appointed horses to political office. But Marcus was different. He was the philosopher king. And here is the kicker. Marcus Aurelius had a terrible life. Seriously, history dealt this guy a garbage hand. His reign was plagued by continuous, brutal wars with Germanic tribes. A massive plague wiped out millions of his people. His most trusted subordinates betrayed him and tried to steal his throne. His treasury was broke. And out of his 13 children, only a handful survived past childhood. If anyone had the universal right to be stressed, angry, and bitter, it was Marcus. But instead of taking it out on the world, he wrote a private diary. He never meant for it to be published. It was just a journal he wrote in his tent on the freezing, muddy front lines of war, trying to coach himself through the misery. Today, we call that journal Meditations, and it is arguably the greatest self-help book ever written. Marcus realized something profound. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Let that sink in. The man who actually had power over almost all outside events realized that trying to control the world was a fool's errand. The only empire he actually needed to rule was the space between his own ears. So, how do we apply this? It starts with the foundational pillar of Stoicism, championed by another Stoic heavyweight, Epictetus. It is called the dichotomy of control. It sounds like a boring college philosophy lecture, but I promise you, this is the cheat code to life. The dichotomy of control is brutally simple. Everything in the universe falls into one of two buckets. Bucket A contains things you can control. Bucket B contains things you cannot control. What is in bucket A? Your thoughts, your actions, your words, your decisions, your reaction to this podcast. What is in bucket B? Literally everything else. The weather, the economy, the stock market, traffic, what other people think of you, how other people act, the past, the future, and yes, the guy in the Honda Civic. Here is the root of all human anger. We spend 90% of our emotional energy screaming at bucket B. Think about the last time you were truly furious. I guarantee you were trying to control something in bucket B. You get angry because your flight is delayed. Can you fly the plane? No. Can you control the weather? No. Yet you stand at the gate, arms crossed, glaring at the poor 22-year-old gate agent, as if she personally ordered the thunderstorm just to ruin your trip to Cancun. The Stoics tell us that getting angry at things outside our control is not just useless. It is literally a form of insanity. It is exactly as illogical as getting angry at gravity for making your phone fall. Epictetus said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When something bad happens, you have to draw a hard line in the sand. Ask yourself, is this in my control? If yes, fix it. Stop complaining and do something. If no, let it go. Getting angry about it is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. I know. It is easier said than done. You are probably thinking, how do I just let it go when my coworker steals my idea in a meeting? Fair question. And the Stoics have a highly practical tool for that too. Let's talk about your morning routine. Maybe you wake up, drink some warm lemon water, do some yoga, and write in your gratitude journal. You visualize a perfect, successful, uninterrupted day. Marcus Aurelius did not do that. Marcus Aurelius's morning routine was a bit darker, but infinitely more practical. He practiced something called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Every morning, before he left his tent, Marcus wrote this down. Begin each morning by saying to yourself, "Today I shall meet with the busybody, the ungrateful, arrogant, deceitful, envious, and unsocial." Wait. The Emperor of Rome started his day by reminding himself that people suck. Yes, yes, he did. And it is absolute genius. Why do we get angry? We get angry because our expectations do not match reality. You expect a smooth commute, so traffic makes you furious. You expect your coworkers to be highly competent, so their mistakes enrage you. Anger is the gap between what you expected to happen and what actually happened. Marcus closed that gap. He woke up and essentially said, "Today, someone is going to cut me off in traffic. Today, someone is going to be rude to me. Today, a client is going to cancel at the last minute." By expecting the worst in human behavior, he immunized himself against it. When the inevitable idiot crossed his path at 2 in the afternoon, Marcus didn't throw a tantrum. He just smiled and thought, "Ah, there you are. I have been expecting you." You don't get mad at a dog for barking. It is what dogs do. So why do you get mad at a rude person for being rude? It is what they do. Try this tomorrow morning. While you are brushing your teeth, look in the mirror and remind yourself that the world is chaotic, systems break, and people are deeply flawed. Lower your expectations of the external world to 0 and raise the expectations of your own character to 100. When you expect the storm, you don't get mad when you feel the rain. You just open your umbrella. Let's get into the mechanics of anger. How do you actually stop it in the heat of the moment? Psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl, whose philosophy heavily aligns with Stoicism, famously wrote, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom." The Stoic secret to never getting angry again is mastering that space, the gap. When someone insults you, the stimulus, your brain wants to immediately insult them back, the response. It takes about a quarter of a second for your amygdala, the primitive lizard part of your brain, to hijack your nervous system. To a Stoic, anger is temporary madness. Seneca, another legendary Stoic, wrote an entire essay called On Anger. He described it as a hideous, crazed emotion that distorts our faces and ruins our lives. Seneca said the greatest cure for anger is delay. You need to expand the gap. Next time you feel that heat rising in your chest, do not speak. Do not type. Do not act. Take a physical pause. Walk away. Take 3 deep breaths. In that gap, ask yourself the Stoic diagnostic questions. First, is this in my control? Usually no. Second, is this person acting out of malice or just ignorance? Marcus Aurelius believed people do wrong because they don't know any better. Pity them. Don't hate them. Third, will this matter in a year? Spoiler alert, it will not. Let's reframe the narrative. Let's say a guy speeds past you on the highway and cuts you off dangerously. Your automatic narrative is that this guy is a selfish jerk who disrespects you. and thinks he owns the road. The result is instant anger. The Stoic reframe is different. Maybe his wife is in the back seat, going into labor. Maybe he is rushing to the hospital to say goodbye to a dying parent. Or maybe he is just an idiot. Either way, his bad driving is a reflection of his chaotic life, not a reflection of your worth. The result is calm. You are the sole author of the story you tell yourself. If you write a story where you are the victim, you will feel anger. If you write a story where you are an untouchable observer of human folly, you will feel peace. If we dig even deeper, we hit the bedrock of why anger is so difficult to shake: ego. Most of our anger is not actually about the event itself. It is about our ego's interpretation of the event. We think, how dare they do this to me? We take the chaos of the universe personally. Imagine you are walking in the woods and a sudden thunderstorm soaks you to the bone. You might be annoyed, but you don't feel personally insulted by the clouds. The clouds don't know who you are. Now imagine someone throws a bucket of water on you. The physical result is exactly the same. You are wet. But your emotional reaction is explosive. Why? Because your ego is involved. You perceive disrespect. Marcus Aurelius trained himself to view human insults the same way we view rain. He stripped away the personal offense. If someone criticized him, he analyzed it objectively. If the criticism was true, he changed his behavior. If the criticism was false, he ignored it, because why would you be angry at a lie? He wrote, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been." Your ego wants to fight every battle. Your ego wants to win every argument in the YouTube comments section. Your inner Stoic knows that most battles are completely irrelevant. The ultimate flex is not destroying your opponent with a clever comeback. The ultimate flex is remaining completely unbothered. I want to leave you with this final thought, and I need you to listen closely, because this is the most pragmatic reason to give up anger forever. Anger is a terrible transaction. It is an abysmal return on investment. When you get angry at someone, you are handing them the remote control to your nervous system. You are letting a stranger, or a bad boss, or a toxic ex dictate your heart rate, your blood pressure, and your mood. Why would you give someone you don't even like that much power over you? As Marcus Aurelius noted, how much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it? Think about it. The guy cutting you off cost you exactly 2 seconds of your commute. But your anger over it, that ruined your entire morning. You snapped at your partner. You spilled your coffee. You couldn't focus on work. The event didn't ruin your day. Your anger about the event ruined your day. You are paying a massive, heavy tax on things that absolutely do not matter. Let's clear up one final thing. Stoicism is not about being weak. It is not about letting people walk all over you and being a doormat. A Stoic will absolutely set boundaries, stand up for justice, and fix problems. But they do it with a cold, rational mind, not a hot, reactive one. A surgeon doesn't operate while screaming in rage. A pilot doesn't land a plane while throwing a tantrum. They remain calm, because calm is exactly what allows them to be effective. A sword cuts best when it is cool, not when it is red hot. So, here is your homework, your Stoic challenge. I want you to try this for just 24 hours. Step 1. Morning preparation. Wake up and actively accept that people will be annoying today. Anticipate the friction. Step 2. Find the gap. When the inevitable annoyance happens, freeze. Count to 3. Do not let your lizard brain hit send on that email or honk that horn. Step 3. Check your buckets. Ask yourself, is this in my control? If it is not, drop it immediately like a hot coal. You are the emperor of your own mind. Stop letting peasants stage a coup. If this perspective shifted something in your brain today, share it with someone who needs it. You know exactly who I am talking about. Send it to the most road rage-prone person in your life. They might hate you for a second, but it is in their control how they react, right? The world is loud, messy, and fundamentally chaotic, but your mind does not have to be. Stay calm, stay stoic, and guard your peace at all costs. I will see you next time.